In a curious twist for the Adventure Bike TV winter bike reviews, the weather is terrible. It's cold, it's alternating between rain, snow and sleet. And in all honesty, I'm a bit pissed off. We're even reviewing a bike we've done before. It's the R1150 GS. However, this one has got a sidecar on it. Now, for some people, putting a sidecar on one of these bikes would be as big a sin as towing a trailer on a Goldwing. But the only way to find out for sure is to have a go myself. And for that, I've got somebody who has a lot of experience with this bike, John Decker. John has been on Under the Visor before, so if you want to find out a lot more about it, that's the place to go. But just briefly, John, just tell us why the sidecar.
We did a trip in South America for 3 months, and my wife and I decided that we were going to go in a sidecar because of issues with her health, and the sidecar was the way to go. We did 3 months through Argentina, Bolivia, Peru and Chile, and had an absolutely amazing time. We could carry as much kit as we wanted within reason, and we had a really good time.
Like I said, there's a lot more on the Under the Visor, so if anybody wants to find out about the story, the ins and outs, that's the place to go. Yeah. But you were telling me earlier about when you first got the sidecar and a little bit about the instructions you were given by the guy you bought it from about how different it is to ride.
Absolutely. Bennett Watsonian, who put this sidecar together, this is a Ural sidecar with a BMW motorbike. His first instruction to me was drive round the left-hand bends and take it very steady round the right-handers. You might need to use the rear brake. Then he asked how long I'd had a motorcycle, and I said, well, I've had motorcycles since I was a kid. And he said, you, and I quote, will be my worst customer, because as soon as you do motorcycling intuitively, this is totally different. We have to drive round the left-handers, slightly brake round the right-handers. Anyone that rides a sidecar does it intuitively, but it takes quite a while.
So you were describing to me, when you were telling me earlier, the reason why you have to accelerate left and brake a little bit on the right is because you've got that great big weight there, great big box.
So you drive round the sidecar and you let the sidecar drive round you on the right-handers. But when you throw in hundreds of bends, left, right, all the time, you have to think a couple of bends ahead and set your speed correctly. If you go into a left-hander a little bit quick, your instinct is to just brake or to slow down. If you do that, you go straight across the road and you wind up at the scene of your own accident. So you must be careful when you're all the time, not just when you're learning, but it's very interesting. So you'll love it.
Well, so one of the great advantages of this is you can actually ride with me next to you and show me the ropes.
I can shout at you as we're going along.
Right, well,
yes.
Let's get out.
No problem.
Foot on there.
Foot on there, hand on here, swing a leg in and then slide in.
Don't touch that.
Yep, that's lovely.
In there.
Yep. There you go. There should be a snug fit in there.
Yeah, well, that's really remarkably comfortable.
Yes.
Oh,
if you fold that all underneath.
Grab that over my legs like an old woman.
Yes, nothing wrong with being an old woman.
Oh. So it was much easier to get into than I was expecting, and particularly me with my dicky old legs. And there's a lot more leg room than I was expecting as well. And I'm really rather comfortable and looking forward to going out for a spin, particularly with my old person's blanket over my legs.
You look distinctly like a granny.
I don't care. I'm really excited about this. we've been driving over the last half hour or so, my mind has been pretty much split in two. Half of my mind has been really aware of trying to translate what John told me earlier into watching him on the bike. So a bit more throttle as you go left, a bit less as you go right, and setting the handlebars and steering up as you come to a junction. The other half of me has just been having the most relaxed, wonderful time watching the scenery go past. Not being uncomfortable, being warm, probably a lot warmer than John, and just really having the most lovely, enjoyable time. Now, it may surprise some of you about what this combination is actually capable of. So far we've been on the tarmac, but I know this is capable of going off-road, so now it's time to do a little bit of light track riding. Just wanted to say one thing about this, being a passenger riding in this off-road. And I know we're only doing light off-roading. It's unbelievably smooth. I mean, the suspension's incredible. I was expecting it to be, I mean, yeah, you're bouncing around, but it's not uncomfortable. And you were saying, of course, to me, Wendy spent 3 months, you know, in this every day. And I'm just astounded. I'm astounded by it. So I've had my expert instruction from John, and now it's time for me to wiggle my way out and change over and have a go at riding. Oh, this feels beautifully familiar. Big old GS. Right, so give me a little assessment on my riding today.
Well, in my opinion, and I am very far from being an expert sidecar rider, your riding was good.
Thank you.
You did exactly as you were told. You went into the corners left hand a little bit fast and drove round. The right hand you decelerated, it worked perfectly. You didn't frighten me, which was very, very nice. My colleague who shall remain nameless, did frighten me on the first left-hand bend. You did exactly as you were told, and it worked fine.
I have to say, I mean, I feel like I am only just learning. And the second I stopped my concentration, I could feel it going wrong. So, not that I was not concentrating, but the moment you let it go, years away from it being second nature, and it was just wonderful to try something completely different.
It's very interesting. I can remember when I first started riding this motorcycle combination, I had exactly the same conversation with Ben at Watsonian, and he said to me, "You didn't do too bad." So that, as far as I'm concerned, was very, very good.
Well, thank you so much for letting me ride it.
Real pleasure.
Wonderful day. Okay, a GS with a sidecar. Seems like a mad idea. And I had two questions in my mind. One was, could you have an adventure on it? And the second question is, would it be fun? Now, undoubtedly, even just after today's experience, I believe you could have an adventure on it. And because I know the owner of this outfit has had amazing adventures on it. South America, all over Europe. So yes, the first question. And having been riding it all day today, and being in the sidecar, it is a hoot. It's a hoot being in the sidecar, it's a hoot being on the bike, it's a hoot being on the tarmac, it's a hoot being off-road. So yes, it is a lot of fun. But you know what? Yes, you can have an adventure on it. Yes, it's a lot of fun. In my mind, actually, as I've been thinking about it, what's even more important about that is what it opens up the possibilities of. If you are unable to have, for whatever reason, an adventure on a bike, two up, and you want to have somebody with you, and you can't do it like that, you can do it with a sidecar. And of course, I've seen people do it with two small kids in there, wife on the back, and the guy riding. Or maybe the wife's riding, who knows? But it's what it opens up. It is 100% opened my mind to this type of riding. And actually, I've only just scratched the surface of it.